loves. 3:21 on Thursday, and I got the nudge this morning to jump on at some point today and to listen for when would be the moment, and that I would hear the moment for me to jump on and say hello. And so middle of the day, when most of y'all are probably working, good morning, Ashley Green, or good afternoon, whatever. It's morning somewhere, right? So I wanted to chit chat a little bit with you guys about resistance and flow. And I would venture to say that we would all agree that it is far better to be in flow than to be in resistance. And yet, how often do we find ourselves resisting what is? My fabulous teacher, Louise Laffey, has taught me, if it is given, it is required. And so when I'm pushing against something, I'm actually giving it more energy. So when I'm resisting what is, I'm actually feeding it to be stronger and to be more dug in. And I don't want to do that. I want to kind of be like a bullfighter. I was having a conversation with one of my one-on-one clients this week, and I'm like, what can we do to be more like a matador in our energy, where we have the red cape and we're like, come on world, whatever it is, bring it on. And then when it comes charging at us, we can just step aside and let it run on past, right? Not that I'm being a proponent of bullfighting. I'm really not. Not a big proponent of fighting at all. So how can we stay more in flow when what is happening is not going according to our plan, or what is happening is not what we would prefer, or what we thought, hey, Fran Hardy from Australia, what we would be thinking we would like to have happen? How can we stay in flow? Good morning. Hello, everybody. So what do I do? The first thing I do, and what I teach all the time, is that our feelings are the hands on the compass telling us where to go. So when I notice my displeasure, and it may show up like disappointment, anger, grief, just plain old rasa pissed offness, what can I do when I notice that? And so the minute I notice that I am dis-easy or disenfranchised with whatever's going on, I will feel it in my body. And if you have ever spent any time around a toddler, when a toddler is unhappy, you know it. They kind of stamp their feet and they flail around. Hey, Mike. And they let you know. So I want to channel my inner toddler to let me know when something is off for me, right? So the minute that I notice that, I can be present to myself and go, yeah, I feel that. I acknowledge you. I notice that this thing that's about to happen is not happening the way that I thought it would happen, or the way that I want it to happen. And that's okay. And I let myself have my little pout about it with no judgment and no criticism. I just sit right in it and I let myself have it completely, fully. I let myself slather myself all in it and be in it. I don't rush myself. I don't try and make it move faster. I don't make myself bad or wrong for what I'm feeling. I just let myself be fully present to what I'm feeling. And then the sooner I can really completely sit in that, fully and completely sit in that, with no judgment and no criticism of myself, the sooner I will notice it will start to sort of dissipate or shift. It's almost as if I'm just there allowing it, going, yeah, absolutely, bummer, or that sucks. This sucks. Sometimes things just suck. It doesn't mean that we're doing anything wrong. It just means that this is not going according to my plan, and I think that sucks. The next thing that I do once I've really honored myself, and there's no rush, I do not rush myself in this, and the more I practice this, the faster it moves, right? That's not the goal. I'm just telling you that's what happens. The sooner and the more I can acknowledge what I'm feeling in my own disappointment, frustration, whatever, the sooner I can sit in it and be fully present to it, the sooner it can pass on by, right? I'm not in resistance. I'm just allowing myself to be in whatever energy that I'm in and allowing it to fully have me, and I'm fully present to it. The sooner I do that and the more completely I do it, the sooner that it passes on by and it starts to transform. And then what happens is I can bring my wisdom mind back online. Now that I've let my physical body have whatever iterations it needs to have, then I can remember what is true for me. And what's true for me is, and know that I am a recovering control freak, people. Absolutely. I wanted things to go exactly according to my plan. Yes, attachment. That's it, Mike. I wanted everything. I held everything like this. Fran Hardy's watching. Fran Hardy taught me, you got to just open your hands. But as a control freak, I wanted everything to go according to my plan. Now I'm going to let you in on a little secret, a little cheat code that I have learned from the wisdom of experience. If everything went according to my plan, I might be happy. Sure, I might be happy. When I can surrender and go with the flow of what is being presented to me, I am generally delighted. Now, I can't get to the delighted part. I can't get to the open to receiving part if I am still attached to that which I want, right? Again, it's that toddler energy. But I want it my way. And it's okay to want things to go your way. What I'm suggesting is that there's this little magic thing that when we can just be with and allow things to come and go in whatever way they're going to, I personally am much more peaceful. And eventually I can get to delight much faster, much quicker, right? But I can't skip over the part where I honor myself and I honor my own feelings, right? And so often when we're feeling quote unquote bad, when we're feeling disappointed or sad or whatever, and we don't want to feel that, right? Then we try and rush through it as if something's wrong, but there's nothing wrong. We have sadness and disappointment and fear and anger and all of that. That's part of the cacophony. That's part of this spectrum of emotions we've been given. We don't get to skip them just because we don't like them. So if you can stay where you are, right? Oh, Mike, I love that. Mike is saying that the message, and he's saying me, he's saying I showed up just when I needed it, when he needed it. But really it's the message, right? And I wait. I sit in that now. Right? I listen for the nudge and then I sit down and they, whoever they are, spirit, my guides, whatever it is, I don't pretend to understand, says, now, get on right now. And sometimes that's because other people need to hear it or who knows. Hey, Kevin. So back to what I was saying. When I can stay out of resistance to what is mine, what my own emotions are, resistance to, but I want it my way. When I can stay out of resistance, I can more quickly get into flow. And when I more quickly get into flow, I am generally really and truly delighted by what shows up. In truth, people, we really only have control over 1.5 things. I used to say 2, but it's really 1.5 things. I'm going to tell you what they are. You have control over your thoughts, but not completely. That's the half. Sometimes the first thought that comes to my mind is a really stinky thought. And when I really look at it and I'm really present to that, I'm like, wow, that's not true for me, right? Or it's not even my thought. Sometimes it's a belief that somebody else has given me that if I really sit with it, I don't even believe anymore. So the first thought, you may not have control over, but the second thought, you totally do. And we all make up stories. And so if you're going to make up stories, you may as well make up a good one, right? Generally, we're making up stinky stories. So you have control over your thoughts-ish, right? When you get really practiced at it, you can be good at it. And you always have control over your choices. Are you saying yes when you mean no? Are you listening to your inner whisper and honoring the inner whisper, right? Where are you in alignment with yourself and where are you out of alignment, right? So your choices, when you get with the flow, like go with the flow. And in my little boat of life, I don't even have oars anymore. I'm just like, where are we going today? Sometimes I wake up and I think I know what my schedule is, and I think I'm going to go to like Flat Track Coffee. A little plug for Flat Track Coffee. If y'all are in Austin, go to Flat Track Coffee. My beautiful number one son manages it, and it's gorgeous, and I love it, and it has the best coffee in Austin. I said that, it's true. Sometimes I think I'm going to go to Flat Track Coffee, and I'm not. It's on the calendar, but let me tell you what. Y'all, I used to get so frustrated and pissed off when things would not go my way or not go according to plan, and I was exhausted. I was exhausted because I was fighting all the time what is, and I've just let that go. If the universe wants me to go down a waterfall, it doesn't matter how hard I back paddle, I'm going down the waterfall, and you are too. So that's part of life. What I know to be true and what I'm sharing with you guys right now is that I can notice, just like I can notice whether a thought is a fear thought or a love thought. Is this a fear thought or a love thought, like A Course in Miracles teaches us? Or am I in flow or am I in resistance? So I encourage you to ask yourself the question right now, are you in flow or are you in resistance? And if you are in resistance to something, can you sit down in your story about what's happening and feel the feelings? Let yourself stomp your feet. Let yourself be pissed off. Let yourself be in the disappointment or the sadness or the whatever until it shifts, and it will. Love you guys. Thanks for letting me jump into your world for a little bit today. Big, big, big love. I'll see you soon.